And we're live with the relationship architect, Annie Kallis, on Livemasters Showcase. I am your live master, Mike Chavez, and we're streaming this broadcast to you live from the fabulous city of Las Vegas, Nevada, and also from the beautiful land down under in Australia. So I'm super excited to have my friend Annie Kallis here. She's going to let you know who she is, introduce herself here in a second, and just kind of we're going to talk about relationships, how they can be connected online, and what she does in her profession to help people with their relationships. So without further ado, Annie, go ahead, introduce yourself to everybody that doesn't know who you are, and I'm going to let people know how they can spread the love and let everybody know that we're live.
So I just want to ask a question before we go further. Hi, Makiba. Is this on Facebook too?
Yeah, it's on my personal page. It's on my Livemasters public page, and it's on our YouTube channel.
Okay, because normally it comes up and says Mike is on, but it hasn't come up yet because I want to do a watch party so my people can see you also, because I really want people to know you.
Awesome.
I just love this relationship that you and I have built over the years, and I'm so grateful to Tanya Lacey for telling me. I think she goes, you need to look at this guy. And the first video I saw, I was hooked.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I mean, yeah, Annie's amazing too. I mean, yeah. So if you go to my personal page, you can, get the video there, save the video, and then go start a watch party wherever. And if you want to spread the love here as well. So I appreciate that. So I've known Annie. I think we were just chatting here before we went live. I've known her for about 2 years, as she'd mentioned. One of her friends in Australia, Tanya Lacey, connected us through our community Livemasters, which is really, really super cool how that went down. And we've gotten to know each other by watching each other's videos over the last couple of years. Annie goes live quite a bit and just shares her stories about life and experience and how she's helping others with their relationships, right? Is that about right? Does that sum you up a little bit?
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm Annie Kallis from Melbourne, Australia. Hi, Katie. And I'm so excited to be here. So I'm a relationship architect, and a lot of people go, what's a relationship architect? So I empower couples to build delicious, passionate, intimate, beautiful, harmonious relationships. So that's what I do. Hi, Jessica. So but we've been talking about having a chat. We're always chatting on Messenger, and then I get onto your lives and you get onto mine and all of that. And then you've been threatening me with, let's do a video, let's do one together. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. But I'll tell you what, we've been so busy. I don't know, since this whole, phenomenon that has been going on in the last 6 months, life has become so busy. You would think that, you kick back and, you'll be all right doing Netflix. No time. When I take time out to watch Netflix, I'm so excited. It's such a gift, This is an amazing, amazing opportunity to just build. And I would say you're doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it is a very unique opportunity to connect with people around the world. Obviously, we're doing that right now live in front of the world, which is really cool. And we've done it through this platform. And you and I had already been kind of doing this for a while before this happened. But a lot of what we're doing now has a lot of serious attention now, being online and helping other people out, because there's so many people that are looking to pivot from business to relationships to all that sort of thing. So how have you seen your business change in the last 3 or 4 months?
Well, my business, I've been in this industry for like 10 years. However, and I've been coaching for many years. I started to really gravitate towards relationship a couple of years ago, because people keep coming to me, especially men. A lot of men have been, wherever I am, they start talking to me about their relationship. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't invite anything. I didn't say, hey, talk to me about your marriage. And after a couple of hours, they go to me, oh, why am I telling you all of this? I said, well, I'm not sure, but possibly it's because I hold the space for you. There's no judgment. And then I actually start, I'm like the no BS relationship architect. So it's not like I'm sugarcoating things. I just go, okay, what's your part in this? And they kind of go, what do you mean? I go, well, is she married to herself or she's married to you? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I go, okay, so let's look at what's going on here. So we start talking. I thought, okay, I have to do this. And also because my marriage fell apart, and due to the lack of knowledge in our life, about relationships, about what makes a relationship, I decided this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I do not want people to go through the emotional and the financial upheaval that I did, and that he did, right? So, divorce is a very painful thing, but you can also do it in a way that can be forgiving, accepting of the situation. This person, you love this person once, you still love this person, and especially if you have children. And we have a son together. So to me, it's like there has to be harmony in a relationship, because we will be connected for the rest of our lives through our son. Yeah. So we, at the beginning, of course, it wasn't pleasant, but now it's fine. Like, we get on well, we have coffees together, we hang out in front of the house and we have cake and coffee, or we even go for a walk. We hang out with our son. Our son wants to go to movies and we go together, all three of us. It's his thing. It doesn't bother me. So, but we just didn't know back then. So now, based on everything that I learned, now I created a methodology to help people from today forward. So I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist, and I'm not a counselor. I don't work on the past. I actually work on today going forward. So, yeah.
That's a huge paradigm. I mean, definitely history repeats itself unless actions are taken to not allow that to happen. I mean, I came from a divorced family, and then now my third marriage, but this is going on 11 years now, and I have a family like I've never had before. So, and I'm a different person now than I was in my first marriage, and of course my second marriage. So, it's taken a lot of growth. Looking back, we're not supposed to look back like you were saying, but now I had to go back at a certain point and see what mistakes I had made, right? And how they are affecting me in my current relationship, right? And so that taking responsibility and ownership for certain things you got to do. But there's certain things that are out of your control, right? I think that's the difficult part about relationships. What do you think?
Well, it is difficult if you make it difficult.
Yeah.
But I think that, as you were talking about, that you learned from the mistakes that you made before, over the last 4 years, I've been apologizing. Every time. Like, I actually went out and started personal development 4 years ago because I wanted to be a better wife. But what I actually discovered a pretty cool girl or woman, right? I discovered me, and I discovered what matters to me, what are my values, my boundaries, what are the goals that I have, what is responsibility, what is, true presence. Like, I've never done a presence exercise before. It was like, whoa, now I can do presence for a long period of time because I can sit there and hold the space for another, and when, through the marriage, it was always, it's his fault. I'm like the angel. Oh no, I was not. and learning about responsibility and what responsibility actually truly means beyond the dictionary definition, right? And practicing that, that's what really I live by that. And it's one of my values. I just didn't know it's one of my values, but now I do. And I live by that, being 100% responsible for me and my actions and my feelings. And when I realized that, I started to look at, so in the various experiences and situations that I had in the 21 years that I was with him, is I realized that there were times, many times, for 50% of the time, I was responsible for how the relationship was. My demands, I was in like a demanding relationship. It's like, you know, I want this and I want that. And subconsciously, I wanted him to make me happy. Now, for those people that are in the personal development arena, know that nobody can make you happy. Nobody other than yourself. Figuring out what's important to you and then asking for it. You know, so, you know, and, you know, we can unravel this in a million different areas, you know, looking at expectations, you know. Oh, I like Rick. Rick, I'm loving all your things. Oh, wow, now we're talking 100% responsibility. So would it be okay if I just share a little something with people about responsibility?
Yeah, go ahead. I love having you on here. I think you're amazing. I think everybody's enjoying it. Annie, go ahead.
So I usually have my flip chart here so I can draw, but I don't have the flip chart, so I'm just gonna have to sort of say it. So when the situation happens, and you know, kids do this really well, right? And you know that they did it, and you go to them, have you done this? And they go, oh, no. So they're denying, right? So a denial like that, it's lying. Now, we also do that in relationships. We deny because we go into like, oh my God, I'm going to be in trouble. So it's easier to deny. So that's one thing that people do. The second thing that they do is they lay blame. Wasn't me, didn't know, da-da-da-da-da. It was somebody else. So, and that's when we step into our victimhood, right? And the third thing that people do is they justify. So they have 100 reasons why they didn't do something. Now all of that creates a situation in the other person, an emotion comes up. So then it just comes a back and forth and a blame and a you, lots of finger pointing and blaming and all that kind of stuff, right? So to lead a successful life in every area of your life, you have to be personally responsible. Okay. So when you're personally responsible, you don't need to lie. You don't need to blame. You don't need to justify, because you know who you are. You step into your own power and you just own up. And the more you practice that, the easier it becomes, to the point where it's just norm. And so it's changing the old habits into new habits, but really understanding and connecting to what responsibility is. Now, here's the thing. Responsibility has 3 parts, right? So first one, in any relationship, whether you in a couple, that's 50-50. Now, of course, you know, I've seen this before where, okay, if you're sick, then of course your partner takes more responsibility for the running of the household and whatever else, because you're not well. So that's where there's the support coming in. But I'm just talking about in a relationship, everybody should have an equal amount of responsibility. So 50-50, right? Now, if you're in a in a business, like in a company, right? Let's say you have 10 people in a team. Now, it's a 10% responsibility for each person, including the owner, the founder, the leader, whatever it is, right? 10%, because that each has 10% responsibility to make that business successful, right? It's not like I have 50 and the rest of you have 50. How does that work? You know, that's when people become tired. Now, within that 10% or within your 50%, you are 100% responsible for your role, whatever that is, right? And this is where in a relationship, you need to start figuring out your role. Like in my marriage, I remember, my husband was a great cook. So I just left him in the kitchen. But then he was complaining that I didn't cook. So then I would go in the kitchen, then he would come in the kitchen and supervise, and that would piss me off. And then it would just blow up. Why are you supervising? So I would take it personally rather than going, okay, all right, so why are you here? Do you want me to cook or we cook together, right? But I didn't know, right? So the thing is that if we could have just decided, okay, listen, this is how the deal is. You're in the kitchen or I'm in the kitchen. Just have more defined roles in the relationship, right? Now, I love gardening. He loved being inside. Now, based on societies, the man is the gardener, the woman is the housewife. Well, we were very different. And there's a thing here. If you know how to do something better than the other, then just do it. There's no hard and fast rule on who has to do it. So here you go. So you're 100% responsible for your 50%. But then what does that mean? What does 100% responsibility mean? It means you're 100% responsible for what you say and what you don't say, and what you do and what you don't do. Because there's many times you don't say what you should be saying, and then you're complaining that you didn't get what you wanted. Well, if you didn't say it, how's the other person? So do men or women know they have a crystal ball somewhere hidden?
No, not at all. I think that's part of the problem too. You assume that the other person knows what you're thinking half the time and don't really even say it. I've even been in situations where I swear I said something and I probably didn't even say it, right? Like, you spend so much time with someone, you have so many conversations and you're busy and whatever, and you could swear you had that conversation. Maybe you didn't, it's happened, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because it's in our head. I mean, we have between 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And I love it. I love it when people say, no, I don't need to write it down because I remember. Multiply that by the amount of days that you were on the planet. The calculator actually doesn't have enough room for the numbers. You get the E. You got the 1.6 E, right? Yeah. So one of my mentors always says, successful people think on paper. When you have something, write it down. When you have an idea, write it down. So we have that many thoughts that we can't remember. So yes, sometimes it happens. I told you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. And then you're arguing about, I did tell you. No, you didn't. Right? Instead of going, okay, well, maybe I didn't. Maybe you did and I didn't hear. Okay. Right?
Yeah, it's totally true.
It takes a bit of work to get to that. And the third element in responsibility, and this is the kicker, right? You are fully responsible for your emotions. So when you say, oh, I got abandoned, I got rejected, I got betrayed, you actually want to sit there and go, did you really? Did that person really, really reject you? Who created the emotion? Right? So you created the emotion inside of you. He didn't come and say, here, I am rejecting you now. Here's the emotion from me to you, from my heart to your heart, right?
Yeah.
So it's valid to feel those things, but then it's up to you. It's your responsibility to go and deal with what you're feeling. So, and I learned this from one of my coaches 2 years ago when I had a relationship and it broke down and I was in shock. I just the way it happened, I was numb for 2 days. I've never experienced anything like it, not even during my marriage. Because in a marriage, it's slow and it's slowly, hi Kimberly, and it's slowly sort of dissipating, right? But sometimes marriages fall apart over a period of time. It doesn't just happen, right? But this one was it just happened like that. And And I just said, oh my God, he abandoned me right now, and he rejected me. And, now I helped him through his divorce, and he's not helping me through mine. So I was full on victim, laying blame, wasn't me, all that, right? That song comes on, wasn't me, right? And then I went to my coach and I said, I can't cope, I'm hurting, help me. And then she just asked me, she said, who created the feeling? I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, who created the feeling? And I go, me. Why is it always my responsibility? I just wanted somebody else to be guilty, right?
Yeah.
And then we started looking at digging into the emotion and say, okay, what are you feeling? And when else have you felt that? And she took me back to where I first felt rejected, which was my dad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also rejected myself. I rejected my values. So I gave up on what was important to me to please him. And I shouldn't have.
Very cool. That's really common in relationships, that people lose themselves. I mean, and they lose their identity, and because they are trying to feel something, I guess. I mean, I think I went through that in a couple of relationships. Definitely. Yeah. When you get infatuated with someone, at first, it can definitely be like that, right? Where you maybe, or for example, like you're in shape all the time and you go to the gym and you're eating really good, and then you meet someone and you start going out all the time and you're staying up late and you're going out a few times a week, and then you're too tired to go work out. And then, when you're out, you're, having a few drinks and eating not so good. And next thing you know, you're just doing weird stuff that you weren't doing before, right? All the time. You look back, you're like, oh my goodness, how did I gain all this weight? I used to be in such great shape. And then part of what attracted that person to you, being in shape and taking care of yourself, and that's gone now, because you're just always being obsessed with being with that person. That's really common. Yeah.
So this is really interesting. Earlier on we were talking about books, right? So you were sharing with me books that you find inspirational and that you take, learnings and inspiration from. This is mine.
The 5 Love Languages?
Yep.
Okay.
This is absolutely, and I use this tool with my clients. So has anybody heard of the 5 love languages? So if you have, you can say yes in a comment box. Now, the 5 love languages talks about the fact that, to give you an example, yes, the 5 love languages. Oh, you wrote that. Sorry. Your hair in a picture is a little bit like Rick. I thought Rick is writing. By Gary Chapman, right? Now, this book has sold millions and millions of copies, and each year it's selling more and more and more. And he, thank you, Kimberly. So he actually wrote the 5 love languages, and this was the original. Since then, he's written 5 love languages for children, for kids, 5 love languages for teenagers, for singles. But here's the thing. Singles is not necessarily singles. It's actually for you as a singular, as a person. So your relationships with your family members, with your friends, and with potential partners, right? So he's using the 5 love languages, and the latest one is for the military. Because military people, when they get what's deployed, right? And sometimes they don't get deployed in the same you call it artillery or same I don't know the terminology, same group, right? And sometimes one is here, one is there. So it's a long distance relationship, which are very difficult because, proximity is power, right? So that's what Tony Robbins says. Proximity is also relationship, and it's intimacy, right? So you're deployed for 6 months. It's difficult on a relationship. And, a lot of people have long-term long distance relationships, right? So how can you create a great relationship when you're long distance, right? So he wrote the military one, and I bought it because I wanted to see for people, and I had a long distance relationship because this man that I was with was in the States. So 2 years back and forth, and it was hard. I just wish I knew how these love languages worked at the time, right? So there's 5 love languages. So it's how we speak who we are, what matters to us, right? And there's 5. And he said after he's been a couples counselor for decades. And then one day he said, I seem to be getting similar things that come back from couples. And so he started looking at his notes, and he found that there's 5 things that people look for in a relationship. You guys want to know what it is?
Of course. We still got people watching. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So it's quality time, words of affirmation, touch, acts of service, and gifts. So when these things happen, people feel loved. Now, the thing is, though, is that most people love, my wife's love language is my cooking.
Rick.
Right? That's actually acts of service, Rick. Okay, so you're doing something for her. So that's acts of service. Now, if 2 people meet, one is Russian and one is Spanish, right? And they meet, and there's this, because you got that chemical attraction, right? And there's that huge attraction, but they don't speak each other's language, right? So how are they going to get along, right? So they're going to get along by learning each other's language or another common language, right? Let's say English, okay? So same with love languages. You've got to learn the other person's love language and then love them in their language, right? And yeah, acts of service, that's right. So, and the other thing is within a language, so you speak Spanish, right?
Not fluently at all. No, not really.
Okay.
No.
All right. So you're 2nd generation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but even in, let's say in the US, if you go from the East Coast to the West Coast, there's different dialects.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the South. Yeah. Especially the South. Yeah.
And the South. Now, in my country, I'm from the border with Hungary. I'm from Romania, right? So I'm from the border with Hungary. We talk with different accents, different terminologies than the people that live up north, which is more towards the former USSR. I don't know what country it is there now. Or then you've got the Black Sea and Bulgaria down, and then you've got the former Yugoslavia. So there's so many different dialects that mix, languages, right? So same with the love language. Okay, so acts of service, even if both of you's language is acts of service, right? Say the first one, but you have a different dialect, you need to figure out what your partner's dialect is, right? So there is actually a quiz on the 5 Love Languages website. So if anybody who's interested, just go into 5lovelanguages.com. So it's number 5, lovelanguages.com. And there's a quiz. And there's a quiz there for singles. And there's also a quiz for couples. So you can do it with your partner together and figure out your love language. And actually spits out a report. And it gives you a bit of an explanation. Then your role is to get this and start reading and learning. I tell you what, when you start loving your partner in their love language, things will start shifting. And that was huge for me when I learned all of this. And I use it with all my clients now, and it's massive. And that takes us into the human needs, from Tony Robbins. So nothing is really original. How you apply it is original, but learnings and lessons have been coming from centuries.
Right. Well, nothing's original, but there's nothing new under the sun except you, Annie Kallis, and you're amazing. Thank you so much. Like, that is so much value that you've just shared with everybody here, and I'm going to go do the go to the site and take the quiz myself, and definitely get the book. I mean, that sounds like an amazing thing to go check out. So yeah, I'm so happy that you came on and you shared. Now you're doing videos every day now. Let's talk about let's shift a little bit, pivot a little bit, start talking about going live. We're live right now around the world, and the relationship that you and we, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, we've gotten to know each other just basically through the videos, and we've had a few chats. And it was funny, before we went live, we just started talking to each other like we're just old friends, right? And you're like, come on, Mike, let's go live. We're talking about everything we need to talk about. And so you're on a 90, you've called it the 90-day live experience. So share a little bit about that, how that's working out. You haven't made any excuses. I've seen you doing videos from bed when you're tired and out on the street, and you're just doing them every day. So share with everyone about your 90-day video experience so far.
Yeah, so my one of my dearest girlfriends, Linda Gale, she decided let's put out there, let's do, because I'm part of a group with her, and and some people are afraid to do live videos. So she said, okay, well, let's just do a 90-day experience to create the habit of and the accountability of doing live videos, right? So she put it out there. She asked me, do you want to do it? I said, yeah, I'll do videos anyway, so why not? So, and it was really cool because, which I haven't done yet, so I'll take responsibility for it. She actually had a spreadsheet where you put in the, you put in the date and the link to the video from Facebook, what it is, and then also measurements to see how many people watched it or clicked on it or commented on it, just so you can see. And then also it helps analyze the topic, right? So I really haven't, completely forgot to fill in that form, which I will do because it's actually a great index, right?
Yeah.
So just like you, like you have the best videos. Like if I get a chance to watch it, I just sit there and I go, how did he come up with the question of the day? I go, how did you come up with that question? That's so left wing. That's really awesome. Because like, well, it's not the norm, right? It's a bit like
I just, it's just stuff that's going on in my life, stuff that I'm working on. That's why I got to get it together, get more organized. We talked about that, but doing a video or the question of the day at a scheduled time, or doing something like this, right? Structured and scheduled every day. But it's really random, I get inspired. I really do, with what I'm thinking about. I get an idea in my head, or a thought, or a question, and I just start talking about it. And that's been the formula since the beginning, because when you don't know how to do something and you just do it anyway, and you do it long enough, then you figure out a way how to do it. And that's what I've been able to do.
Well, I want to share with everybody who's listening right now or watching, and everybody who's watching the replay.
I'll get you information. Don't worry about it, Ellen. You can start anytime on the 7-day challenge. We have a 7-day live video challenge right now on Livemasters, and of course, Annie, you're more than welcome to hop in there. It's open; anybody can start it at any time. So I'll put some information in the comments about that. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. I'll have a look, because I don't have enough on my plate, but but I love doing these things. Is Rick leaving us, or is he just saying?
He's saying thank you for the live, sharing our experience.
Right. Sorry. Got it. I love it, and I see when you pop up, and I'm in the middle of something, and I go, I can't stop, because your our time difference is 17 or 18 hours or something like that. So I start my day when you're finishing off your day, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
But I do binge watching sometimes, just like you do. I sit there and I start watching your videos one after the other. And even the ones from 3 years ago pop up. You've been doing this for how long? Over 3 years now. Yeah?
Yeah, in January it'll be 4 years. Yeah. It's interesting. It is interesting. Like I binge watch your videos too, because you're doing them every day too, and they're not too long, and it's funny. When you do I know that when people watch my videos, they don't watch the whole thing, right? This is a 35-minute video. No one's gonna. I mean, I'm glad the people that are watching live. Thank you guys for hanging out this long. Most of my videos are not this long, but there's so much value that that you've been delivering on this video, and it's great. I don't care. We could talk for hours, but yeah, I just like to show up and share my thoughts.
But here's the thing, we are real people,
Mm-hmm.
and real people watch real people. So it's like how do we navigate life? How do we navigate work, relationships, kids? So, and on YouTube, and this is the great thing that you do, that you have this on YouTube also. This is something I learned the other day, is that people go to YouTube because they want to sit down and watch something. So for them, YouTube is TV.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched TV in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I watch movies on Netflix, and I've got this, it's called an AC Ryan, and I've got 1,500 movies on it. So I can watch replays of Fast and Furious #5 for the nth time, right? Or I watch Arnold Schwarzenegger, or I watch The Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Or I watched 7 Wives for 7 Brothers, and that's like a 1940s or 50s musical that used to be my dad's favorite. So I grab my dad's picture and I watch movies with my dad, right? Because my dad's passed away a couple of years ago, but it was his favorite movie. So I connect to things by watching movies. It's amazing what you learn out of them also, especially The Notebook. If I want to cry, I watch The Notebook.
The relationship architect watching The Notebook is a train wreck for tears to happen.
But I let me share an experience with you, and those that are watching, try this out. Okay. So same time when that breakup happened with that person, right? And by the way, it was the best thing that ever happened for both of us, right? It was a moment in time, and we dealt with it the best way we could. We had our own stories. He's extremely happy with somebody right now, and I'm extremely happy with me. So I am ready to have a relationship once lockdown stops and once we can go out and meet people. But in the meantime, I'm just loving what I'm doing, right? And my mentor is a gentleman called Blair Singer. So I'm certified by his academy in Phoenix, Arizona. So next time I'm going to Phoenix, I'm coming to see you. I'm doing like a side.
Yeah, it's only it's 4-hour drive. That's it.
Yeah. And I said to him, I go, like, he had his own story he shared with us, and he shares it in his events. And he shared that, like way back when, many, many years ago, his first wife left him, and he was heartbroken. He has a great marriage now for, I think, 30 years or something like that. And I said to him, how did you cope? Because I feel like I can't, I'm dying, my heart is breaking. And he's like, big drama, right? And he said, all you got to do is to stop and feel the feeling. Because we all want to stop the pain, but the pain is there, so we got to accept it. Just, you got to sit in it for a moment and allow it to come. Allow the tears. Tears, have you ever experienced just crying and crying and crying and you can't stop? Or laughing uncontrollably and you go, why am I laughing? And you're just laughing, and the more you're laughing, especially when it happens in an elevator. That's really funny, right? When you're caught in an elevator and you just burst into laughter and you just keep going, and then everybody's laughing with you because they don't know why, but they're just laughing, right? Crying and laughter is actually the body releasing pressure. And a lot of people say, don't cry, don't cry. They're breaking a person's perturbation. The perturbation, it's like, when you're on a riverbank or on a lake, and everything is very crystal clear, and then you put a stick in and you perturbing the sand. Well, that's what happens to us. There's a perturbation that's happening inside. So if we're not allowed to perturb, that's when we blow, because it compounds, it's layering of ill emotion and hurt and pain and frustration and whatever. And if you're not allowed to express, then you blow. So when somebody cries, just hold the space for them. Just say, okay, is there anything I can do for you? Don't go and hug them, because you might be breaking their thing. You might ask, you want a hug? And if they say yes, then you go in for the hug. So all this perturbation that was happening. And he said, and then grab it with your left hand and pull it out of your heart and put it to the side. And then watch it. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm pretty open to many things, but that's different. And he said, and look at it and watch it and feel it. And then grab a pen and paper and write about it. Okay. As I said, I'm open to any type of anything, right? Mm-hmm. So then this one day I'm beside myself. I'm hurting and I cannot stop crying. So I thought, okay, let me add to this. So I watched The Notebook, right? Why not? Add to the misery. But I love the movie. I'm watching the movie, and at the end, I am just like, like full on, right? And all of a sudden I went, okay, I'm in the moment. I stopped. I literally did this. I grabbed it and I put it to the side, and seriously, it was sitting here. And I'm looking at it and I'm feeling it. And it's almost like there's a string connecting to this something that's sitting there. And then I grabbed a pen and paper and I wrote about 8 pages. Right? And I just wrote everything that I felt. And this is called a harmful letter. So harmful letter is when you just write, no punctuation, no grammar, no rereading, nothing, just write. And you can go to town in your language. You can be as crass as you want to be, because it's between you, the paper, your hand, and the one above, whatever you believe in, right? And dump. And all I did was dump and everything I felt. And then I went to sleep, and I have not felt that pain since. Mm-hmm. So it's quite an interesting process, right?
It is very interesting. I was sitting here listening to the whole thing, thinking to myself, I think I've been doing that actually on all my videos, my thoughts, everything I manifest, all this stuff that's going on in my life, right? The relationships that I've attracted. It's, it's interesting. I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've done my personal development live in front of God and everybody the last, 3.5, 4 years. And that's why I'm so passionate about empowering others to step into their confidence with their voice and their message, and if they choose to do so, right? Because there are people out there that would never care to do what we're doing, and that's fine. That that's totally cool. But I know there's still a handful of people out there that really want to share their thoughts, their ideas, because of things they've gone through, like your story and what you've gone through and what you've turned it into. Look at you now. In a sense that I don't need to blow up your ego or anything, but you're amazing because you've taken things that have happened to you in the past and you've helped it empower you. And now you're helping empower others through doing the same thing, which is that's what this is all about at the end of the day.
Thank you for that. And your biggest pain is your biggest gain. And your experiences, it's what you bring to the world. Like you look at somebody like Tony Robbins, and for those people that know Tony Robbins, his mother abused him like no tomorrow, washed his mouth out with soap and scraping it and beating him and all of that. And he turned all that, he wanted to learn. And he's forgiven his mom. And like I grew up in a very abusive household. It was some kind of abuse was on a menu on a daily basis. whether mental, physical, emotional. You know, I got thrown into walls and my head smashed into concrete walls. The biggest thing, and this is my message to the world, is that forgiveness is freedom. And the freedom is for me. So when I forgave my parents, and then I had the opportunity and the blessing to be by deathbeds, and I was there to the last breath, that's a gift. And that's a gift for me, that I was able to forgive all of that, because they did the best they could. I don't condone violence, by the way, but they did the best they could. And I chose to treat them as human beings and be there for them in their time of need. And I sleep well.
Yeah.
Because that's where forgiveness comes from. So in relationships also, you know, acceptance and forgiveness. If you get to, that's what I teach, you know, through my methodology, get to the point of accepting your partner for who they are and forgiving you not knowing and them not knowing and making the mistakes and learning and making each other better. Bring the best out in each other. So, and arguments happen in relationships. If you don't have arguments in your relationship, then I don't know. Because arguments happen because you're two different individuals. So you got to argue. But what you do with the argument? Do you learn from it? Do you want to elevate the other person by listening and sitting there and communicating and understanding, right? Yeah, have the argument, walk it off, or do whatever you need to do, but then come back and close the circle. Otherwise, you have lots of unopened loops that link in, creating a big chain of sorrow, right? So, and that's what I do. I work with couples from today onwards, you know, like looking at what do you want from today and who you are today, because who you're today in your 40s and 50s, it's not who you were in your 20s, right? So it's a whole new different dimension, different values, different everything else. But you can still live the next 50, 60 years of your life in joy and happiness and contentment. I truly believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it too, 100%. Yep, 100%. So cool. It was so cool to have you on here. And I learned from you, and I'm going to go back and watch this and share this with some people that I know, like, and care about. I'm sure people that are watching will do the same. Can you just let everybody know the best way to get a hold of you? Just follow you on Facebook. Is that really the best way right now?
For now on Facebook. I'm getting a website built, which is very exciting. But yeah, for now, just website, just Facebook. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can put in my email address if somebody wants to email me. That's fine. You know, okay, and
yeah,
do you want me to put in a chat box here?
Oh yeah, you can do that now or whenever you want to. That's totally fine. Yeah, it was awesome. Huh?
Before we go, I actually want to, you know what we talked about before the meeting. So this is for all your people, right? Because I'm a creative, so I have this thing about, you know, I always look at how people can put their stuff out there even more, right? And because I love your videos and your question of the day, I could see this amazing book, right? Where you have like question of the day and then a space for people to write their thoughts on what the question is, and maybe even like a quote. So you can package that up and people can actually buy it as a gift. Because a lot of people are starting to journal, and a lot of people like, Dean Graziosi, he's got an amazing journal. He's got a really nice journal that he created, but people can journal in there, and he actually explains to them how to journal. And it's really beautiful, right? And I thought, oh my God, like you've got all these, you have questions, you've got like thousands of questions. You could do like 3 series of the books, you know? And I was, how many of you would like to have a notebook or a book from the Livemaster with the question of the day? So if you do, put your hand up, say yes in the comments box below. And if you're watching the replay, say yes, please. I want one.
Yeah,
I would get one.
oh,
I would
that
get
I definitely. Okay, that's awesome. I got to start working on. I got something to work on. I got definitely plenty of topics to talk about, and I like how you mentioned how we can get people access to the actual video when I ask the question, if we, especially if we make it an ebook. So,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
but I want to. I really want to write a book soon, sooner than later. I a funny story about that is on day 10 of my video journey, I said I'm going to write a book about going live every. I decided after 10 days, I just knew it. Like but I still haven't written a book, but I had a lot of limiting beliefs about my ability to write, and then I started realizing that a lot of the things that I'm speaking, some of the posts that I write out, I just speak them like I'm doing a video, right? And I mean, I'm already creating that and just go back and clean it up. And yeah, so some people have even suggested that I turn some of my videos into books too. So yeah, it's lots of things that I could do. I need to find a publisher. I guess that's what I
I
need to do.
have one. I have
Oh, okay.
one.
Well, yeah,
Do you
you
know,
need to.
I just released a book called Ignite Love with 35 other authors. So everybody wrote their life story. So there's a publishing house in Canada, and they are truly amazing. Oh, Faith! Hello, Faith. So she's really great. I can send you her details, and you can connect with her.
Yeah,
But do you transcribe your videos?
no, I haven't transcribed any of them. I have them all backed up though. Now I have them all backed up. There's a way you can go on Facebook and back everything up. So
Oh,
I have a hard copy on a hard drive. I have them on my computer and a hard drive. Then a lot of them are on YouTube. There's over 300 videos now on my YouTube channel. I need to go clean up my YouTube channel and put the labels right and the links right and do all the stuff to help that grow. But I'm working on all that too. So.
well, I just dropped you a link to a website. It's called otter.ai. So this is for everybody, right? Everybody can use this. So if you want to put it in a comments box, Otter AI is a transcribing program. So like when I watch videos or when I do my videos, I actually have it running in the background and it's transcribing everything I say, and it's recording it and transcribing it. So it's got the audio and the transcription.
You're doing that right now on your videos?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. It's actually, and if you want to, I can actually send you. All you need to do is give me your email address. Oh no, actually, I can send it to you through Messenger, I think. Okay. But I'll send it to you. The whole everything we talked about today, it's transcribed, right? Because when I ad hoc, when I know I'm going to have a conversation, and that's when a lot of great stuff comes out. I want it written down so I can use it, right? But Otter AI, for anybody who is especially doing live videos, teaching, coaching, whatever, it's a very good tool to have to transcribe your thoughts, right? So all you can do is send this to, if you have a VA, get them to transcribe it all, access to your, to your YouTube, and they can transcribe it all. Yeah. Yeah. So
okay.
it's a great tool.
Cool.
It's just awesome. So
I'll definitely check that out. Can you go back and just do certain videos that are already recorded? Will it go back and transcribe videos that are already recorded?
Yeah, absolutely. This is so it's for free. It's for free. I think 600 minutes or something like that a month, right? I got to a point where I was using them up quick, and then I just looked at what's the upgrade, and it was like $99, and I'm going, like, when you run a business, you want to look at what are the tools that are beneficial. $99, it's so beneficial for me. And then I actually did last year. I did 28 days to a delicious relationship. I did a challenge on Facebook. So what I'm doing now is I'm packaging it all up, and I'm going to put it up as a little course. How to ignite your spark in 28 minutes because it's 1 minute videos, right?
Mhm.
So I transcribed all of them. I just went back and I let it play in the background, and it's just transcribing it, right? So then I use the transcription and I put that onto the platform that I'm going to put it on. And this is something for you too, Mike. I don't know if you know about this, but Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Russell Brunson have a new platform like Udemy called mastermind.com.
Yeah, I've seen it. That wasn't the thing. Yeah. Can you wait? I saw that. Is it like Udemy? You can just put the sites up there, and your courses go on a marketplace inside inside their network, right? Basically.
Yeah. So of course you have to pay for it. So it's a little bit different. I don't know how Udemy works, but you pay for a membership, right? And then you have access to upload a certain amount of courses that you want. Now, I actually invested in the unlimited courses, right? You can also do webinars on it, and I think you can do lives, but it's a place where you can upload courses. And when you have
and that's all connected through the ClickFunnels and all that. They all got it all set up, right? The ecosystem, right?
It's all set up, and the great thing is that you can leverage on these three guys because they will constantly be putting it. They will always market it because this is their platform, and people. There's about 15,000 people so far in the last month that have uploaded courses, right?
Yeah, I was in that same challenge. I wasn't. Yeah, I know exactly what it is. I do know exactly what it is. Yeah. Once I get, like I said before we went live, we were talking. I don't know if I shared with you. I talked to so many people. I don't even remember. I think I shared with you of how I was. Yeah, I think I shared with you how I was able to create a video series. Right. How it kind of clicked for me. Right. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it the whole time. So, I don't want to go back and repurpose any of my videos that I've already done. I want to make fresh new videos that are different than what I've already done. If I'm going to have some sort of course where anybody's going to buy it, because I just don't want people to go on Facebook and watch it for free and say, hey, why did you charge me for this in this course? I just went on your this old video just popped up and it was the same thing I just paid for. I don't want to do that to people. So I'm going to make some really good stuff when I do it. I'm going to do it right. You know what I mean?
Okay. I disagree because people are not going to be searching on Facebook. They're not going to be, videos that you've done 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're not going to be sitting there scrolling back to see if you've done it. People want things quick, and I'm not saying you to charge thousands of dollars, but if you do, some people charge $29, $15, $149, depends on the content. The thing is that's work and time that you've already done.
That's true. On the flip side, though, there's something about what I'm doing that I can't stop doing it, and so I'm still at a point where I want to make new videos every day. You know what I mean? And so that's I don't know. I can't stop doing it. I just feel that every day when I show up and I do videos, I do multiple videos, and then I do, overviews and conference calls and Zoom calls and stuff for business and everything. I just feel that I just keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and I love it. This was the one of the coolest hours I've spent doing a live video with you being here the last hour. We've talked about so many different things, and you shared a lot of value, especially with relationships. And then, at the end, we're just talking about how to monetize and leverage video like we're doing. So it was great. It was a great chat, Annie.
Thank you. And I have to say thank you for starting Livemasters, because you are really giving people a space, a safe space to be. Makeup or no makeup, in bed or in a bathtub. I do videos in a bathtub. I ran out of bath bubbles, so I'm not doing them at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's just like, because as you know, when the thoughts come and when you just go, oh my God, I can give some value there and then. It's not like, oh, I'll do this later, because the emotion and the truth that comes with it, it's in a moment. And that's why your videos are so fantastic, is that you're just in a moment, middle of the night, dogs running around, kids running around in the kitchen with family members. There's always something amazing going on, and you're showing people life. And we want to know how people live and learn how can we better the quality of our life. So, and you've been doing it for 3 years, and I do look forward to whatever else you are coming up with. I need to look at your 7-day challenge now.
Well, it's really simple. Like I had said, I mentioned to you before, there's so many challenges right now online that are absolutely amazing. I was actually involved in that challenge that you were talking about with Tony Robbins. I was involved in another one with Pete Vargas, and I'm currently in one right. I'm actually doing one right now. That's amazing. I purchased a part of a course from that that challenge that I'm in right now, and I'm developing stuff that's going to be truly amazing, and I'm coming up with ideas that I don't see other people doing, and that's what's cool. That's what in the video challenge, it's a video interview challenge, so you are already way ahead of the game as far as the video challenge, because that's the premise. You go live in Livemasters for basically 6 days, and if you do the videos consistently, then you get interviewed. So you're putting the cart before the horse, but we'd love to have you in there and do the challenge.
Okay. Well, I'll see, because I'm actually starting a video I start a course today on how to do videos that you can use for marketing. There's a guy called Pan Jung, and that's what he's good at. Pan Jung.
Yeah. So, yeah. I know exactly who that is, and you make the video content, the ad content for your videos, and repurpose. He teaches you how to repurpose like a lot of the videos I've already done. He teaches how to repurpose all that and market it properly, basically.
It's so I want to do it because I want to be more intentional. Even though I'm intentional in my videos, just like you, it's all about contributing and giving value. But there's always another level, right? So
absolutely. That's why I keep showing up every day, because I know there's another level, and if I show up, I'm going to get even closer every day. So,
Yes.
All right.
Thank you everybody for watching and for staying with us as long as you stayed. And man, you and I could talk forever and ever, because there's just we're bouncing off each other so much. It's I love it.
Yeah, I do. I love it. So
love it.
We'll definitely work on something in the future. With what I'm working on, I'm sure we'll bring you in as an expert speaker where you can take a deep dive and do something to showcase some of your amazing skills that you have, like you've shown on this video.
Oh, thank you. I've got many in the toolbox. Many.
Yeah, you do, definitely. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You're awesome and amazing. Say goodbye to the amazing Annie Kallis down under in Australia. And we'll see you tomorrow. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.